What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center, here to do an energy love check-in reading for my Geminis. If you're new to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click the like, share, and subscribe button for me. All the other information you need to know is in the description box below. So, my Geminis, what we're going to take a look at is we're going to be looking at your love life for the month of November. And at the end of the reading, I'm going to pull a few cards for career and finance. It's just a few cards. I know some of you guys out there, excuse me. I know some of you guys out there probably would like to know what to expect in money and finances. So, I figured why not? I got a deck that I hardly ever use for that. So we'll take a look at that in a moment as well. Also, if you haven't, click the bell notification icon. You'll be notified when I go live. Come join me for a free live tarot reading. And I'll do my best I'm going to try harder to start scheduling those and giving people a heads up when I go live, so it's not so spontaneous like it has been. Trying to get better about that. And you'll also notice a few new videos that I'm posting on my channel. It was when I originally started this channel, while I pull your cards here, when I originally started this channel, it wasn't my intention to be just like all the other tarot readers. I mean, I feel like, there's obviously a lot of great tarot readers on YouTube, and, their channels are well established and they're really good at what they do. But I don't know. I just don't feel like I need to be another one of those. And so I feel like I kind of found, I kind of figured out what it took me a while to get clarity about how my channel needed to be done or the kind of content I wanted to create. And so what I've done is on my live tarot readings, at times I will get channeled messages for the collective. So even though I'm answering somebody's specific question, a question that they've asked, more information will come through that it's not just for that person who asked the question, it's for the collective. And so I've taken bits and pieces of those portions of the reading, and I'll be sharing those. Do I have enough? Okay. Yeah, I got all the cards out. So anyways, you should see those videos on the channel. Feel free to check those out if you'd like. All right, so let's take a look at your cards. First of all, just so you guys know, we have the Sun. So is Leo energy. You could be dealing with a Leo. You don't have to be. We have the Hangman in reverse. That's Pisces energy. You don't have to be dealing with the Pisces, but, it's just there. I'm mentioning it. I'm just going to take a peek at a few of the cards underneath. And now we do have a King of Wands. When we go down, I'm going to just peek underneath this one. And we have a Ten of Swords there. Okay. So you could be dealing with a Leo, because that King of Wands was there. I'm just kind of peeking to see. So I feel like your reading is kind of similar, it seems like, to Libra. I just finished Libra's reading. I'm seeing a similar type of theme, not exactly the same, but similar-esque. All right. Now they did have the Four of Cups in their reading. And they had the Ten of Swords, which I just saw at the bottom of the deck here. So, I feel like you guys haven't been getting along with somebody, and I feel like you're kind of at a breaking point here. It's kind of like you've done all you can do with whoever this person is. Now, this is somebody, I feel like for the majority of you, this is somebody that I would say 80% of you are still with this person. So this is a situation that's probably been ongoing for you. And then for 20% of you, this is something that ended recently. That's the vibe I get. And I see that with the Five of Swords. So this is something, you and this person couldn't get along. You couldn't see eye to eye. You couldn't stop fighting. There could have been a lot of ego on either your part or their part, or both of you guys just clashing. The Five of Swords is nobody wins. There's no winner here. You can't get along. You'd rather be right than have a relationship, or It's just a very abusive, toxic situation, that kind of thing. But definitely, arguments, fighting, and definitely not getting along with the Five of Swords here. Now over here, the Four of Cups is just showing, hey, there's the love and the passion and the romance is kind of dead at this point. The Four of Cups is about feeling apathetic. It's feeling disinterested. It's feeling neglected, feeling rejected. That this person here is like, they're sitting under the tree. They're kind of bored. They're checked out. They're not inspired anymore. They're not motivated anymore. And these cups are empty. There's nothing there anymore. Right? But the beauty of the Four of Cups is that way back here in the background, there is this technically the fourth cup that comes out of the cloud, saying that, hey, don't lose hope that this is all there is, because there will be a chance for love again. All right. Which is tied to the Sun card. Now the Sun, obviously, I feel has two energies attached to it, maybe even three. The first energy is saying, hey, don't let the negativity of this relationship or this situation to define who you are and who you become, because if we attract what we are. And so the longer you stay in this negative energy is just how much longer it's going to take for you to attract new love, because this situation doesn't look like it's going to improve, unfortunately. I'm going to have to be real with you. So sometimes, we hang on to dead things or things that are dying that can't be revived. And so it's like the term, like kicking a dead horse, right? And that's kind of what this is. And I see that here with the Hangman in reverse. The Hangman in reverse is doing the same thing and expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity. The Hangman in reverse is saying, hey, I'm not learning the lesson here. I'm not surrendering. I'm not letting go. I'm not gaining the new perspective or the new insights that I should be, right? This is somebody who thinks, oh, things will magically get better. Oh, things will improve, or, ignoring the red flags. All of that type of energy is the Hangman in reverse, But going back to the Sun real quick, the Sun is saying, hey, don't lose your enthusiasm that this is the only person that you'll ever find, or this is the last person you'll ever love, or all the negative storytelling that our brain, when our brain takes over, right? And the negative meanings and associations that we give to things that just aren't true. So the Sun is saying, hey, don't let this define you. There are going to be better times in the future. There will be somebody else in the future. This cup in the future, that's coming out of the clouds from the universe, is going to make you happy. You will be happy again one day. Okay, so that's one energy of the Sun. The second is you're starting to see, right? Right now, you're not seeing the full picture because the Hangman is in reverse. But the Sun is implying that soon enough, even if it takes time, even if you have to keep going through more abuse and you have to stay in the toxic cycle longer, whatever the situation is, eventually, this Five of Swords energy is eventually going to do enough damage, unfortunately, for you to realize the truth. Because the Sun illuminates the truth. It's a revelation. You can't hide from the Sun, right? When the Sun is out and you're outside, if you're standing outside in the open and it's daylight out, and I'm not talking you're standing in the shade, or you're hiding out somewhere. I'm saying if you're just like, out in the wide open, right? You're standing out in the middle of an open field and it's daylight out. The Sun illuminates everything. There's nowhere to hide. When you're standing out in the middle of somewhere and the Sun's out, you can't hide. So that's what it's essentially saying is like, the truth is going to be revealed to you no matter what. You're going to see the truth. You're going to realize this situation for what it is, right? And you won't be able to pretend anymore, because right now in the Hangman in reverse, it's kind of like, there's a little bit of pretending energy. There's a little bit of like, well, maybe it's not as bad. Even though this Five of Swords, even though it's toxic, maybe it's not as bad as I think that it is. Well, no, it is. But you'll figure it out. Even if it's not yet, you will eventually, right? So that's the second energy, the Sun. It's illuminating the truth to you. The third energy, I think, is again just showing that the person that you could be dealing with was that King of Wands, who could be a Leo. Not for all of you, but for some of you, right? Now, the Six of Wands is tied to the Five of Swords. The Six of Wands is really about attention, about validation. It's about, victory after a long battle. So this is really about, who walks away feeling like they've won. Who's the winner here, right? Who gets to be right? And that's the Six of Wands. And the Four of Pentacles has two energies attached to it as well. On one hand, this is you holding on to your truth, what you feel, your perspective. You're not giving in. And this person over here, is holding on to their truth and they're not giving it. So each person is kind of, holding up on their side of the fence. Like this person's not budging. They're not moving because they feel that they're right. And the other person that you're dealing with, they're holding on. They're held up because they feel that they're right. And because there is this clash where you both feel like, your point of view, your perspective is justified, and the other person's like, well, my point of view is my point of view and it's justified. You just can't get along. And that's what, that's one side of the Four of Pentacles. Now, the other side of the Four of Pentacles here is despite the turmoil and despite the conflict, there's probably at least some degree of trauma bond here. It's like a toxic relationship. You're not letting go of this person, and this person may not be letting go of you, right? So even though it's bad, you're not letting go. And that's also one of the reasons why the Hangman is in reverse, right? Because when the Hangman is upright, the card is saying, hey, in order to get something better than what you've got, you have to learn to let go. You have to make a sacrifice. That's one of the meanings of the Hangman. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sacrifice something in the sense that you have to sacrifice this person, because this relationship probably could have worked out if, you both would have been willing to sacrifice your need to be right. If you would have sacrificed, this Four of Pentacles, you would have sacrificed this Five of Swords, you would have sacrificed this Six of Wands, right? You're letting go of the need to be right. You're saying, hey, it's okay, you can be right. I don't have to be right. Letting go of your pride, letting go of your ego, letting go of whatever. That's the sacrifice. Sometimes in order to be with certain people, you have to be willing to sacrifice things, right? When you find somebody, it doesn't matter who it is. When you choose a person in a relationship, you choose a set of problems. And there is no perfect partner. This person, when you chose this person, they came with a set of problems. The next person that you date or marry, they're going to come with a set of problems. So the trick when it comes to romantic relationships is finding a person whose set of problems you can comfortably tolerate. In other words, am I willing to tolerate the problems that this person brings to the table? Or are the problems that come with them, is it too much for me? Is it a non-negotiable? Is it too disruptive for my energy and my lifestyle, my beliefs, whatever? But at the end of the day, we all have a decision to make when it comes to love and romance. You choose a person, you choose a set of problems. Can you comfortably tolerate the set of problems that this person brings with them in this relationship? And the same goes with you and me. When that person chooses us, they're basically saying, hey, I'm willing to take their problems, right? So if I was dating a woman and the woman says, I choose Eddie, me, then she's essentially saying, I choose Eddie and I choose the set of problems that Eddie has that come with him, because I'm not a perfect human being and I have problems, and I'm going to take those problems into that relationship with this woman. And, those problems will either be too much for her, or she's like, hey, you know what? There's problems that's come with this guy, but how do we handle it? Right. And that doesn't mean that those problems are going to exist forever. It just means that in that moment, when because when two different people get together, sometimes it exposes things within us that we didn't know existed. So, somebody that we dated in our past, we didn't have those problems with that person. We had other issues, and so now you're with this person And this person, maybe they trigger you different. Maybe they bring out a different side of you. Maybe they reveal things or expose things in you that you've never encountered before. You're a different person around them because you've never been with someone like them. They trigger you differently. They expose things in you differently. And the same vice versa with you and them, right? And so if sacrifices would have been made, it's possible, right? It's possible that this relationship could have gone differently. But that's not the reality, right? That's what could have happened. But the reality is what the cards are showing here and now, all right? So basically, yes, I don't think that this relationship, I think if for most of you, if it hasn't already ended, it's about to end. And over here at the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Pentacles, which is just simply saying there was a lesson here. The Page of Pentacles is a card of a student. There's something here for you to learn. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. You guys could have been fighting about money. I mean, we have Pentacles here, Pentacles here, Pentacles here. Money and finances could have been one of the issues that you couldn't agree on. That's just a side note. But this is also, again, about saying, hey, you know, exploring yourself. What is your self-worth? What is your self-value? You know, have you worked on yourself? Have you become the best version of yourself? Will you become the best version of yourself, right? As a result of what you've learned from going through this situation, then you have the Seven of Wands. Are you going to learn to have boundaries, or are you going to continue to be ego, ego-driven? This card represents both. This card represents I have ego, I'm constantly on the defensive, I feel threatened by everything someone says or does. Or this card is a card of, hey, I just need to learn how to have healthy boundaries, right? And then, of course, we've already talked about the King of Wands. Could have been the Leo person or just the person you were dealing with. And then we have the Ten of Swords, which is just a painful ending, right? So, that's really what this is about. So if I had to summarize your guys' reading, it's about learning the lesson that this relationship is meant to teach you. And if you learn the lesson, then as you move forward, you won't have to repeat a situation like this ever again. Okay. So that's kind of where you're at. And that's essentially what you're potentially within the next 30 days. I mean, that's kind of what the universe is asking you to do, is sit with this and explore this and go, hey, what should have changed? What can I learn from this? How can I change and adapt and transform as a result of this? Who can I become? How can I implement those changes into my life? So when I move forward, I don't have to go through another situation like this and repeat the same cycle. I can become a new me, therefore I can have a new relationship, right? All right, so let's take a quick look at career and finance here. And that's not a bad read, by the way. I mean, it may seem that way, but sometimes we need to allow the universe to teach us things so that we stop doing things that are harmful to ourselves, that don't get us where we want to go in life, right? Like, that's getting the correct advice to know what we need to change in our own lives so that we can adapt and move forward. That's what's most important, our personal development and our spiritual growth. Okay, so the first card out says authority, and I'll show you the card and I'll read it to you. I'm just going to get the other two first. All right, we have moving up. One more, please. And we have real passion. Okay. The authority card here says, clashes with the boss or a challenge to your power will compel you to respond. Choose peaceful solutions if you can. So yeah, and so for some of you, going back to this, if this was somebody you worked with, or maybe you were dating your boss, or somebody that you worked with all the pentacles that was on the table, because the King of Wands can be a boss energy, and then of course all the pentacles on the table could represent work. If this is something, with your work situation, that card could apply. It doesn't have to. Then we have moving up, and it says, You are increasing your power and status. You may get a promotion or move to a better home or office. You climb the ladder of success. And then you have real passion. And this says, stop wasting time in dead-end jobs and find your true passion. It's fine to experiment, but don't settle for less than you truly deserve. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory there. So, like I said, it's not a huge like career reading thing, but I just wanted to pull a few cards for that. Pretty self-explanatory in its own right. But hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.